We've been told that you've been speaking to a possible spirit by the name of Jacob.
Yes.
On this episode of Ghost Hunters.
Toledo Yacht Club.
A lot of activity. Past Commodores that have been deceased order drinks at the bar.
Out of the corner of my eye, I see about half of a face.
There's a boy hunter who's made contact with some spirit that he calls Jacob.
Why did they pick Hunter?
Did you move all those marbles?
I didn't do that. Hunter was going to investigate with us.
Is that you, Jacob? I just got someone touched on my back.
I think this is going to be a really interesting case.
Yeah.
Toledo Yacht Club. There's a boy hunter who's made contact with some spirit that he calls Jacob. And also, Hunter's mom works at the club, and she grew up there because her father used to be a Commodore there before he died. And she's really concerned for Hunter's safety, and she's scared.
Right. I know some of even the adults have claimed to see full-bodied apparitions, shadow figures, voices, and footsteps, and really just a lot of things that nobody has an explanation for. I mean, these are the things we have to try to figure out.
T.A.P.S case. Toledo Yacht Club. Toledo, Ohio.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm Jason.
Susan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Beautiful place you got here.
Thank you.
Has it always been a yacht club?
It has.
Okay.
Yes.
The Toledo Yacht Club opened in 1865, and after a fire destroyed it in 1906, it was rebuilt in 1908. Although popular among wealthy vacationers in the early 1900s, the club became more well-known during the Prohibition era from bootleggers using the docks at the club to smuggle Canadian booze across Lake Erie. While there are no documented deaths at the club itself, there are confirmed deaths in the water of bootleggers and gangsters, and also from boating accidents over the past 150 years.
We hear that there's claims of activity that seem to be throughout this whole location.
A lot of activity. We've had past Commodores order drinks at the bar.
Is this a visual manifestation, like the bartender sees somebody walking?
Correct.
And then they turn around and nobody's there?
Correct.
And this happens more than once?
It's happened a couple times.
A couple times,
Does it
okay.
always seem to be the same drink being ordered? Or?
Yes, in Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan.
Manhattan,
Okay.
same bartender?
No, no. It
Different
was
bartenders, that makes it
Yes.
a little more interesting.
There's been bartender that's seen a shadow figure underneath doorways down in our storage area.
It comes from under the door?
Under the door.
And
yes.
then pops up like a person?
The way she described it is, yes, it was a
Wow.
person. There was another instance after a party. I was carrying a lot of objects down our back staircase, and I would fall. Somebody would physically touch me and push me back.
Oh,
This
okay.
has then happened to other bartenders and one of our maintenance people.
As I went up the stairs, I started rocking back, and I knew I was going to take a tumble, so I was getting ready to grab the railing. But I didn't fall. I was just there, and I was balanced out, but I didn't feel any hands or anything, but I didn't fall. And I knew I was falling.
How long has the experiences been happening for?
Many years.
Many years.
Been, before I even started here, there's been stories.
Susan's father was a member of the club for 30 years, and also a past Commodore, and she's curious if he could be behind some of the activity.
I saw something coming out of the Commodore's office. Best way for me to describe it is if you're driving down the road in summer and you look down the highway, you see the heat radiating up. It appeared like that radiating mirage just coming out of the office and going down the hallway.
While all of these claims are intriguing, the main reason that Susan called T.A.P.S in is because of the claims from her 11-year-old son.
Now, your son is Hunter, correct?
Correct.
Now, Hunter seems to have made some sort of
Yes,
contact.
he has made contact with a little boy that's 10. He says his name is Jacob, and he talks to him quite often.
How long has he been talking to him?
About a year.
Buddy, all right.
And does he say there's other people with Jacob, or is
He said he's met his parents,
his parents?
and we don't have any names of who they are.
A bartender has also seen the boy.
One day I went up to the attic. Out of the corner of my eye, I see about half of a face. Just kind of peek out and peek back. It was pitch dark around him, but I could see a little boy's shaped face. It was kind of a shiny gray almost. It was really frightening.
Now, are you guys fearful of the activity? Because it sounds more like it's looking out for your well-being, especially if it's stopping you from falling down the stairs. And
There's one that is concerning. The gentleman that orders the drink at the bar, I have heard that he's kind of rude, kind of mean, aggressive.
Okay.
But as far as Jacob, I'm more concerned of why did they pick Hunter? Why is he talking with him?
So mainly, what are you hoping that we're able to accomplish here then for you?
Possibly find out who he is, what he's doing here. Is somebody that used to be a Commodore here also?
All right. Well, I think from here, we'll go talk to the rest of the crew and start figuring out how to set up and go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, Hunter.
Thank you.
So we just got done talking with Susan about the activity that's been going on here at the Toledo Yacht Club. And a lot of it seems to revolve around the employees who've had experiences, but mainly Susan's concerns are of her son, Hunter, and dealing with this entity that he calls Jacob, and also Jacob's parents, too. And she's worried about what this means and why they're contacting her son. So this is an interesting case for us. It seems to definitely have a personal connection. A lot of times children are more prone to be able to make contact and see these entities, these spirits, than adults who are closed-minded. So now what we need to do is actually go and talk to Hunter and his parents and see what he really has to say. Hey, you must be Hunter.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm Jason.
All right. Hey, buddy. How are you doing?
Good.
So, we've been told that you've been speaking to a possible spirit by the name of Jacob.
Yes.
Can you tell us anything about him?
Well, he wears like a black tuxedo, and he has like a scar across his face.
Okay.
Wow.
Because he fell off the balcony from leaning too far.
Okay, he fell off this balcony?
Yeah, right in the middle.
He told you that?
Yes.
Did he tell you when that happened?
I think it was like 1910 or something.
Oh, so he's from a little while back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I also heard that you've met Jacob's parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 3 times at least.
Okay.
Now, have you ever met anybody that is like Jacob before?
No.
No, he's the first. And does he, you know that he's passed away, right?
Right.
Does he know that he is passed away, or does he think he is still here as a...
He thinks he's still here.
Okay, it's really interesting.
So, okay, well, if you see Jacob while we're here, if you can just let him know that we'd like to talk to him tonight.
Okay.
Greatly appreciate it, all right?
Jacob, we're not here to scare you. I just want to make sure that you're real here.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Good job, Hunter.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, buddy.
So we're on the lower level of the Toledo Yacht Club. And the claims down here, there was a bartender that was in the back of the bar, and she heard a gentleman in back of her complaining about a drink. And when she turned around, there was nobody there. So we're gonna set up this camera to face that way and see if we can catch something.
Right there. Perfect.
We have a few different things that are quite unique about this investigation. One is it's completely surrounded by water, and there is a theory that water can work as a catalyst for manifesting and that sort of thing. We have Hunter with us who's going to investigate with us for a little bit, and we've never had anybody that young investigate with us, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, how a child's mind works in terms of trying to communicate with another child's spirit.
Right now we're in the ballroom here at the Toledo Yacht Club. This particular DVR camera is focused mainly on the balcony. Hunter has said that he has seen this apparition of Jacob standing up at the top of the balcony, and he claims that this is where Jacob actually fell from and landed here and cracked his head open.
All right, guys, it's all cameras. Looks great.
Yo.
Hey, guys.
All right.
All right. We have 6 DVR cameras. We have handhelds. We have thermal. Yeah.
All right, cool. Good job.
Nice job,
thanks.
Dave.
Thank you.
Let's get the lights out.
We're almost here.
Cool, man. You lead the way.
All right, this is Dustin and KJ. We're up in the attic space along with Hunter and his mom, and we're going to do a little investigating up here. All right, so Hunter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this audio recorder down here. And since Jacob is so friendly with you, if you could maybe tell him what we're trying to do to try to get him to speak with us.
We're up in the attic of the yacht club, and this is an area where Hunter has communicated with Jacob fairly often. So we really wanted to see if bringing Hunter with us would allow Jacob to feel more comfortable with us and step forward and communicate. If you put the EMF detector right over here, because maybe Jacob will come over here to try and interact with the teddy bear to let us know that he's here, then we have some kind of energy shift, and it might be Jacob that's coming in to interact with us.
Do you think if I touch the teddy bear, he might come closer?
He might.
Jacob, Dustin and KJ are not here to hurt you. They're just here to see if you're actually here. And if you are, please come through that recorder and say something. No harm, no scares. They're just here to record you, that's all. Besides, I'm here. We have some marbles for you to play with, even a teddy bear for you.
Jacob, we're here with your friend Hunter. We know that he can see you around here sometimes and that you're friendly with him.
And we would love you to join us and come and hang out with Hunter and Dustin and I, if you would like to.
Jacob, are you here with us? Yours is going off. Jacob, are you here with us? Yours is going off.
Jacob, is that you trying to communicate with us?
Because if you are, make this spike up a bit higher.
Jacob, if you are here with us and you can hear what we're saying, do you think that you could appear to Hunter so he could tell us that you are at least here with us?
He didn't just show himself to me, but I could only hear him right there. And he whispered in my ear, I'm here.
Really?
Yeah, I heard him say, I'm here, in my ear.
Does that mean that he's right next to you off to the right-hand side?
I think he might be.
All right, Jacob, if you're here with us, you definitely have our attention.
Jay and Steve entering the ballroom.
Hey, Jacob. Jacob, do you like playing with Hunter?
Right now we're investigating the ballroom, and this is where Hunter told us that Jacob fell from that balcony right there, and he landed on the floor here, and he busted his head all open, and he passed away.
Whether you're Jacob or you're somebody else, Hunter likes you being here.
Jacob, Hunter has told us that this is where you died. That's one of my biggest fears, is falling to my death. Did that happen to you? You can talk to us. Can you tell us, are you alive? Are you dead? Are you not sure what's happening?
And we've had cases before where things have made contact with kids, but more with malicious intent. You find out that even though they look like a child, they're not a child. But this thing, if truly he's been interacting with it for so long, definitely would think human spirit, no malicious intent, right? Nothing like that. If you're not Jacob, are you a former member of the club or a Commodore?
Howdy.
Sit down. Here, I'll move my legs.
That's all right. Oh, thank you.
How was Hunter?
It was good. It was fun to watch him, actually. He was, like, really into it, you know?
Yeah. He just seems, like, so excited.
Yeah, he was really excited.
Yeah.
He talks more than KJ, which I didn't think was impossible. Like, he just would go at it. I don't know, he keeps saying that he can hear the spirit talk to him, which obviously we couldn't. But, you know, maybe if we get something EVP, it'd be pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah.
I gotcha.
So, but we'll have to wait and see if there's anything that got recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go back out with him again in just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
The van is haunted. I don't know why everyone's wasting their time inside. There's things going on here.
Oh, good. This is Sam and Dave in the den basement area.
I mean, this is probably gonna be the only time I'm ever gonna be in a yacht club.
Yeah.
You know? You know?
We've been told there's quite a few people here. There may be a gentleman who ordered a drink and wasn't happy with it.
I'm going to do an EMF sweep, just in case that's what people are feeling. So let's first check on the bartender.
I expect it's probably a little higher.
So you're right. We're getting, you know, some high spikes here and there. That's definitely coming from the machinery.
I don't think that explains, you know, hearing a gentleman
No.
mad about his drink and disappearing.
It wouldn't make you hallucinate.
Well, Jacob, if you are down here, or if anybody else is listening, we would love to talk to you. You like the moaning sound?
What impressed me was that it kept moving. Like, I heard it, and I was able to keep hearing it.
Yeah.
You know,
like
while
you
we were
wanted to look
talking.
where it was going?
And I could tell what direction it was going. So that was interesting to me. Was that you walking? I mean, I was hearing,
They sound like they were on the tile?
Yeah. Yeah. It sounded like it was like sticky.
Yeah.
You know, like. And it sounded like it was traveling this way. I mean, it definitely caught my attention, you know.
Is there somebody down here in the den? Were you listening to Dave and I? Do your footsteps?
Mm-hmm. It was like. Choo, 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 choo.
So it was quick.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Maybe it was Jacob. Were you listening to Dave and I? Do your footsteps?
Mm-hmm. It was like. Choo, 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 choo.
So it was quick.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Maybe it was Jacob.
Jacob?
Or somebody that used to be a Commodore here?
It sounded like it was like sticky.
Yeah.
You know, like.
This is Sam and Sherry in the attic of the Toledo Yacht Club. The first time Jacob met Hunter, Susan's son, was up here. And Hunter was in that corner, and Jacob walked up the back staircase and tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, look, I'm here, let's be friends." So they've been friends since, and Hunter and Jacob get along wonderfully. They play games together every time they're both here. And at one point, there was a woman who works here, and out of this room, Jacob poked his head out. So I thought we would start up here and see if we can meet him like Hunter met him. Susan asked us to come out here. Susan and Hunter. We know you know Hunter. He's a really good friend of yours, right? Maybe you could use some more toys. I brought some marbles. If you're listening, Hunter was telling us what you look like, that you wear a suit, like a tuxedo maybe, that it has a flower, like you were here for a party, and that your mom and dad are around. That's pretty cool. Sherry has a son. Sherry, how old is your son?
My son is 9 years old.
Oh, that's pretty close in age, Jacob.
Yep. He likes to play with marbles. You don't have to be afraid of us. You can come closer. We're not here to hurt you. There also have been reports of a lot of accidents happening in the lake. The boat capsized. A lot of other, accidents unfortunately have happened and caused a lot of harm to people. Were you on an accident on the lake?
All right, so this is where they heard the person order the Manhattan.
Right, and that's been heard multiple times by different bartenders. That's what I like. If it was just one bartender, it could be a little peculiar, but multiple bartenders are experiencing that.
Interesting to see how sound travels down here, though. It's like I've got this over here. Sound's coming. She said he had his back turned.
Hi, can I have a Manhattan, please?
Yeah, but I can see you in the window, so I know you're there. It's like...
Okay, so that makes sense then. It's at night, the bar is closing, and a guy that's not very happy wants a Manhattan. Hey, can I have a Manhattan?
But if it's at night, this is dark, gives me a reflective surface, I can see you.
Right.
Even with the lights on, you know what? Let's see. Now I can see even better. Right there. No matter what you order.
Yep.
So, now, all right, if you're not here, unless you're standing behind this thing when you say it, and I'm a certain angle, it's like...
Hey, man, how about a Manhattan?
All right, now, of course, if I'm here, I can't see until you come around that, but... I don't know. I mean, with the lights on, I can see you even better, so if you're gonna hear a voice, I just mean, I would think typical it would be normal to be here doing whatever, but you're looking at what's going on behind you, paying attention no matter what you're cleaning or what you're doing. Just unless you just heard a voice, it makes no sense.
Surely it must.
Can you tell me what's in a Manhattan? Is there anyone down here who'd like to talk with us?
Hunter and his mom, KJ and Dustin, were in the ballroom.
We're trying to communicate with Jacob. There's a very good possibility that Jacob may be feeling comfortable being up on the balcony where you've interacted with him before. He could possibly be keeping his distance a little bit from us because we're new.
Jacob, we thank, these guys thank you, I thank you, and Mom thanks you for any interactions you've done for us tonight.
And also, we want to say, because we're going to be here late, we want Jacob to know that.
Well, it's pretty much sort of like letting a dog's nephew when you want to pet it like this.
Right?
And you can pet it like that. It's pretty much like what Jacob is, but he's just a bit shy right now.
Yeah. Well, we want him to know that if at any point while we're here, he can tug on us, he can let us know that he's here, he can talk to us if he feels comfortable while we're investigating for the rest of the night.
Oh, crap. I just got something touched on my back.
Really?
Yeah.
And now your EMF detector's going off. See, those are two things right there that if those things are happening, you want to pay close attention to what's going on, okay? I'm just getting a shot of your back here and seeing if we can capture an image of Jacob. Jacob, we want to thank you for any interaction that you have attempted this evening with us.
And I can't believe you just touched me on the back. Is that you, Jacob?
Okay? I'm just seeing if we can capture an image of Jacob.
And I can't believe you just touched me on the back. Is that you, Jacob?
KJ and I had a chance to investigate with Hunter and his mom. Went to the ballroom and the balcony area, and Hunter said that he felt like Jacob maybe touched the back of his neck. It would really be great if we had an EVP to go with that to help to substantiate, you know, his experience there and hopefully give everybody some answers. Nice work, man.
You did a great job, man.
Really nice.
This is the staircase that she claimed to be pushed back up on, isn't it?
Yep.
So she felt like she was falling and something helped her so she didn't tumble and fall.
Let's do an experiment. Let's go to the top and walk down.
Yep.
And let's see if maybe for some reason the steps kind of like stop you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Maybe we'll get rubber legs or something.
Right. Or like, say you start building momentum, but there's a step that like holds you back. Does that make sense?
No. Not really.
You know what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the EMF gauge as well.
Just be careful when
Just
you're
to
walking
see.
down.
Thank you.
You need to hold on to the railing.
That's true. Maybe I'll do that because she wouldn't have been holding something, or maybe she was holding something.
How about one of us holds the railing, one of them doesn't?
Okay, here we go. My hands are full.
Be careful, though.
Thank you.
Do you think it's possible they were about to fall and this caught into her clothing for a second? Maybe? I mean...
And it pulled her back?
Right, and then they look. Well, this happened to more than one person. I mean...
See what happens. Walk down and walk close to that and see if it snags you.
Nah. Because this, I mean, coming down, this is kind of like a smooth edge.
Maybe if the hook end was
The
toward...
hook end is possible.
Okay.
What is this? Oh, it's the...
Curtain rod or something. All right. Well, my hands are still full. I don't feel weird. I don't know, I didn't feel anything weird.
Yeah, we couldn't disprove that one. Maybe that claim's legit.
KJ and Sherry in the Den Bar, which is the first level of the Toledo Yacht Club.
This is the area right here, which I understand is where the angry gentleman came up to the bar.
Yeah.
What would be something that we could do that may entice this angry gentleman to step forward?
I could go in the back of the bar.
That would make me angry.
Well, I used to be a bartender. I have my bartending license.
Can you make me a dirty martini, shaken not stirred, 3 olives?
There you go, sir.
Okay. That's the crappiest drink I've ever had.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Is there anything else I can get for you?
All right. Anybody else in here that's irritated with the bartender? Is there someone here that they call the Commodore? Susan thinks that her dad may still be here. Is that who you are? Is there anything that I can do for you, sir? Please let me know by speaking loudly and clearly. Is it wind or conversation? Is that vehicles? Sounded like voices.
Can you tell us what your name is? Do you work here?
Okay, so let's go all the way up.
All right. So, according to Hunter, this is where Jacob was when he fell off.
That would definitely kill a small child.
Yeah.
Probably kill a full-grown adult. Yeah.
Jacob?
Jacob's parents?
We're friends with Hunter. Oh, so this is the attic where Hunter's seen Jacob.
Yeah. Jacob, Hunter says you like playing with marbles. We have some here. Look at these. These are beautiful.
Geez, Steve, there's mud wasps everywhere.
Oh, yeah. When I was really, really young, I sat on a hornet's nest. And I just remember running up to my parents' house screaming and putting my hand down my pants and pulling out handfuls of wasps. And they were stinging my hand as I'd pull them out of my crotch. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. I was screaming and crying. And they said, as long as he's not allergic, just make sure the welts go down.
What was it?
What?
And just hear what sounded like metal dragging?
No. Did I talk over it?
Yeah, I was rolling this, so. Did you move all those marbles like that?
I put them all in a line.
Yeah, that one out there? That.
I didn't do that.
I wonder if that was the noise that I heard while you're talking.
I don't know. I lined them all up.
You just hear all the sounds. No, it's not the noise. If somebody manifests something in their mind to a certain point, when does it actually become real? Think about it. We've worked on cases like that before.
Well, poltergeist-type cases, that sort of thing, of course, but...
Where they're manifesting the activity themselves.
This doesn't fit the model of a poltergeist case.
No, I'm not saying poltergeist type. I'm just saying... All right, you heard that, right?
Yeah. This doesn't fit the model of a poltergeist case.
No, I'm not saying poltergeist type. I'm just saying... All right, you heard that, right?
It was like a...
Yeah.
I couldn't pinpoint a direction, though.
If you move these marbles or that bear, can you move them again? If you don't want to do it for us, that's fine, but do it for Hunter.
Hey guys, it's late. Let's get the lights on. It's time to wrap.
So we just wrapped the investigation here at the Toledo Yacht Club, and I think it's been an interesting night. We were able to incorporate Hunter into our investigation, have him get involved, ask some questions, try to communicate.
Tonight's case is going to come down to the evidence. Do we have evidence of Jacob? If we don't, we may try to come up with other answers in terms of explanations as to what is happening here.
All right, guys, so the Toledo Yacht Club, very fun investigation. We have Susan, who is Hunter's mother. We have Hunter, who's seeing this ghost boy by the name of Jacob. He has, like, this relationship with him. And it seems like Hunter's the only one that sees Jacob. But there are other claims of people seeing a boy ghost, but they're not saying it's Jacob.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting to me. And I know his mother, Susan, just really wants to know why Hunter. Why is Jacob just focusing on Hunter? And she thinks that her father's there as well. The claim when they're walking down the staircase and someone holds him back.
Yeah.
She thinks that, he's protecting people there. He was the Commodore at the time. What do you guys think about this whole situation about, Hunter and this boy Jacob? Do you think it's possible, like, he really is witnessing something paranormal? Do you think it could be his imagination? But what's your thoughts? Like, what do you guys think about that whole situation with the Hunter?
I mean, theory goes the kids are more likely to see things, and we have to take that into consideration.
And that's one of the reasons we were there, hoping to get some type of evidence of Jacob and his parents and maybe figure something out. I believe we did capture some things. So, whether it's Jacob or if it's something else,
right.
I would like to get into the evidence and play some stuff for you. So let's see. All right, so it was me and Steve. We're in the ballroom area, and we're walking around. You can hear the creaks of the floor. But I want to bring this to you and get your opinion on this. I hear something. It's very, very low. It sounds like a whisper of saying something. It's like either one word or two words. There. It happens quick. Do you hear it?
I do.
You hear it?
Yeah, I really do.
It's like da-da-da.
It's tough to decipher because there is a lot of
sounds
creaking
going
and stuff, a lot of things going on right there, but I definitely hear it, yeah.
So this is when you and Dustin were downstairs at the first level near the den bar. You were near the fireplace area, and you guys were, just having a conversation. And all of a sudden, you guys actually heard it. There was a thump coming from the bar that was on the other side of the room.
Yeah?
So we caught it. Here we go.
All right. Nice and cool, comfy couch. Nice and cool. Right there?
Right there.
That's interesting enough that we heard it at the time.
You know why I like it? I like it because Dave and I had a personal experience in the same general, on that floor, on the den bar area.
Yeah.
We didn't catch it. I mean, I went over the audio. I know you went over the tape.
Didn't hear it.
And we didn't catch it, but when we stopped, it stopped. And we didn't catch it.
It was interesting because it wasn't us. I know exactly where I heard it, and it wasn't the way we walk either. It was very like, and I hear it traveling, and it was quick little footsteps, like, but it was the sticky, like, but I know I heard it, and it was traveling when there was no one there. It wasn't us. Like, we stopped, and it was continuing to go for a second, and then it stopped.
So, I mean, it was an
Which
experience.
is really interesting, because as you guys were telling me about your experience, I was thinking, okay, you know, that sounds like a little kid, which then is a perfect lead into an experience that Dustin and I had up outside of the old Commodore's office. So I think we found something up there that might be worthwhile, and I wanted you guys to take a look at it.
Oh.
Right there. I heard something down there. Did you catch that?
Yeah. That was loud.
It was pretty loud.
And it's a weird, it doesn't sound like a bang on the wall. It doesn't sound like a normal, like a thump or anything. It's like something moving or something falling or...
Right. It seemed like a more deliberate type of noise, whatever it was. And it was interesting because we're asking for something to happen, and there it is, you know?
Right. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one piece for you guys. This is Dad and Steve, and they're in the attic where Hunter says his first ever experience with Jacob was. And then they were having a bit of just a discussion themselves, but in the midst of their discussion, something was said, but I want to get your interpretation of it.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm putting my hand down my pants and pulling out handfuls of wasps, and they're stinging my hand as I pull them out of my crotch. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. I was screaming and crying. And they said, as long as he's not allergic, just make sure the welts go down.
I heard it.
And they're stinging my hand as I pull them out of my crotch. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. I was screaming and crying.
Yeah,
and
I hear that for sure.
Allergic. Just...
Let's try not to laugh.
I'm listening to the crotch story.
Right. You can tell there's a third voice there, but it's like right in between. Like you know, your dad and Steve are like having this conversation, and then all of a sudden there's a third person interjecting something when they're talking about bees in Steve's pants, basically.
It's an odd spot to hear it.
That's the way it goes, though. You know, anytime. That's what happened.
Every time. Timing, you know, right?
I pull them out of my crotch. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. I was screaming. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. I was screaming in the bathtub, called the...
Yeah, it does. I think it's saying, I'm not Jacob.
It is fantastic. Wow.
T.A.P.S was called into the Toledo Yacht Club by our client Susan to investigate the claims made by her son Hunter and employees about the ghost of a small child named Jacob, as well as past Commodores who have been seen in the club. We've analyzed our evidence and have returned to tell Susan what we found.
It's good to see you, Susan. How was everything? So you know what we did. You gave us a tour, told us about a lot of the claims that were going on here. Also, you introduced us to your son, Hunter, and we were able to talk with him and discuss some of the experiences he's had here throughout the property. And we were able to have some experiences.
This clip here we're going to show you, Tango and I, we were investigating in the ballroom. Right there. Did you hear that?
Footsteps.
It's right after the footsteps. To us, it kind of sounds like sorry.
Now, this next piece was Steve and I. We were up on the 3rd floor, and Steve was in the ballroom, and I started heading to the back of the building. During that time, there was a weird moan sound that sounded like it came from down the hallway. We went down, we looked, couldn't find any explanation for it.
In the background, you can hear me talking. It's aside from that.
Hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Hear that moan sound?
Yeah.
Does the tone of it or the voice of it sound the least bit familiar to you?
No, that one doesn't.
Okay.
Has Hunter or anybody claimed to have like a groaning or a moaning sound?
One of the bartenders, yes.
One of the bartenders?
Yes.
Okay. All right, this next piece we want you to listen to, there's definitely a voice. We were in the attic, and at one point, while we were standing there talking, I heard what sounded like a metal dragging sound. Upon listening to it later on, there is no metal dragging sound. There's a weird voice that comes in as Steve is actually talking about some stuff.
Handfuls of wasps, and they're stinging my hand as I pull them out of my crotch. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. I was screaming and crying. My mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital. We do hear it sounds like I'm not Jacob, 4 syllables.
I am not Jacob, yeah.
Right. Mom put me in the bathtub, called the hospital.
We didn't find any evidence of Jacob. I'm not saying he doesn't exist, but truly, your thoughts as a parent, do you believe that he's seeing Jacob? I don't know, I'm just trying to get your thoughts. You know your son a lot better than either of us.
I think he did see Jacob.
To us, it seems to be those words coming through. So to me, that holds a little validity in terms of he's actually experiencing something, but what is it? Not sure. Could it be your dad? Sure. Could it be a past Commodore? Sure. I wish we had a definitive answer, but what we do know is whatever we encountered that night was not Jacob. Yeah, you know.
And it wasn't malicious. I know one of your main concerns was, is he safe? And there's no sign of it being malicious. It hasn't been up to this point.
I think there's nothing here to be afraid of, and if anything, you have some living history here in the building, which is pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
If activity kicks up, or if things really start happening more and more, give us a shout. We'll gladly come back. Hopefully we can catch more evidence that might help lead us in a direction one way or another for you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure getting out here.
T.A.P.S showed me that they did recover some evidence and that spirits are friendly, so that made me feel much better. When I heard the male voice up in the attic saying that he is not Jacob, very curious of who he is. Is he a past Commodore? Is he my father? What message is he trying to send? Even though T.A.P.S didn't find evidence of this family that Hunter talks about, I still feel that they do live here.
Well, I think that went well.
I do too. Once she realized what that voice was saying, you could tell it kind of clicked. She was like, oh, Jacob, oh, I see what you're showing me here.
And that was a real golden piece of evidence that we had, because that shows some sort of an intelligence. It knows that we're there looking, trying to make contact with Jacob.
Sure does. It can hear what we're saying, it can process it, and it can react to it.
Yeah, it's wild when you think about it like that.
I think it's a good case. I think Hunter...
You still think that was a raindrop?
No. On this episode of Ghost Hunters.
So, man, Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman, New Bedford, Mass. The fort was going under construction during the American Civil War to protect the fleet.
Robert seems to think the reenactments stirred up activity here.
I came down to Fort Tabor one night and I saw 3 to 4 men coming toward me.
He wants to make sure that the visitors here are safe.
But there was a girl also who chased a shadow, fell and broke her leg, correct?
Correct.
It sounded like footsteps behind us.
Yeah. Can you please tell us your name? Oh, look right now. See that moving by it?
Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, God.
Oh, there it was again. That resonated through the stone.
So, man, Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman.
This is going to be awesome. Forts have always been good to us.
And it's in New Bedford, Mass, which is nice.
Yeah, I was born in New Bedford. My whole family lives in New Bedford.
Well, the place does have some good parts to it, though. But a lot of different claims.
And now I guess they do this whole living history thing, including a new recreation celebrating the colonial pirates and privateers.
And it seems to be when the activity's at its greatest is when they're doing that. But the neat thing is we've got 3 different locations we're investigating. The fort, the museum, and the Milliken, the battery area. And our client, Robert, really wants us to come in and try to figure out what's going on, just to try to ease some of these fears that everybody there is having.
A lot of claims in the fort. They're seeing shadows, they're seeing apparitions, they're hearing voices. In the Milliken, they're claiming to see a sparkly apparition. In the museum, they're claiming to have motion sensors tripped. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome, looking forward to it.
I kind of like that since they've been doing these live recreation things, that's when they've started getting a lot of paranormal activity here.
You have to wonder, was something seeing shows, or they think that it's still an active fort?
I'm excited about this. There's going to be a lot for us to do tonight.
Yeah, this should be good, man. All right, let's get over there and find out what's going on.
T.A.P.S case, Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman, New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Hey, Rob. I'm Jason.
How you doing, Jason?
Nice to meet you.
Steve, pleasure.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful day to be inside here, too.
Yeah, well, for us, it really is. What's some of the history?
Beginning in 1840, when New Bedford was one of the richest seafaring capitals of the world, they began to petition the federal government to build a fortification to protect the fleet. About 1850-ish, that's when the orders went through.
But the city of New Bedford's military history goes back much earlier.
Fire!
In the 1770s, New Bedford was home to many of the colony's pirates or privateers. Colonial privateering was so successful that in 1778, the British Navy launched a raid on New Bedford, landing on the exact spot where Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman sits today. 3 colonists were killed in the attack, and New Bedford was burned to the ground. Construction of the fort intended to protect the harbor finally began in 1857, but soon hit snags.
So by 1861, when the war started, the mayor of the city realized the fort was nowhere near ready, and he built a small earthwork fort just outside that was named Fort Tabor. By 1863, the fort was filled in, and the cannons were moved into here, and this was known as the fort at Clark's Point, or the Stone Fort, until 1898. And that's when it was given its official name, Fort Rodman, for Lieutenant Colonel William Logan Rodman, who died while leading his troops in battle in 1863 at the Battle of Port Hudson, Louisiana.
Following the Spanish-American War, the fort went through many periods of inactivity and use, with it being utilized during World War II for convalescing wounded veterans.
Through all the history, how many lives do you think were lost in the fort here?
We know of one death during construction of Mason, who was working on the fort, and the derrick fell over and killed the individuals. In addition, during World War I, you had quite a few soldiers come down with what was the Spanish flu, and there were several that died in the field hospital here.
So it's definitely seen its share of death.
Yes.
Wow, how sad.
So now, the paranormal activity you guys have been having has been going on for a long time now, right?
Quite a bit.
I came down to Fort Tabor in the middle of high school. We would all sit around the playground and talk, and it was just a place to hang out. I was sitting on the swing set one night, and I saw 3 to 4 men coming toward me in red and blue coats with rifles. Nobody else seemed to see what I was seeing, and they kept coming closer and closer, and that was my cue to run to my car and go home without explanation.
I know there have been a lot of people who've experienced seeing shadows, full-body apparitions. But there was a girl also who chased a shadow, fell and broke her leg, correct?
Correct. That happened right over here. I was right in the corner where you can see the bricks right up there.
Okay, that's awful.
At the museum, you guys have different experiences?
We do. There's 2 areas inside the museum that people come to us and they say, I get a creepy feeling in there, to people saying, well, yeah, there's somebody standing right there.
Right.
We've had shadows that we've been seeing. The one that I experienced several times, sound of a falling book.
Okay.
But yet, when you get up and you look around,
there's nothing. And how many times have the motion sensors gone off?
That's gone off several times.
Okay. Now, we also heard you guys have caught what appears to be apparitions on security
shadows. Yes.
I was asked to do some security, and we had come back in the museum, and Bob said, hey, we got new chairs, try them out. So I sat down in them, and out of the corner of my eye, we had the monitor in there with all the cameras on it, and I saw something go by. It was like a white line with a purple hue, and it just kind of went across the screen like that, perfectly.
And now what's going on at the Milliken?
The minute you walk in, it's creepy. Noises in there. There's all sorts of things of hearing.
We were kind of going in and out of different areas. There was a little bit of debris around. And then all of a sudden, I saw a soldier. It was almost like he was kind of crouching, just observing what was going on.
Also in the Battery Milliken, there are reports of voices, the sound of large explosions, and a mysterious, shimmering man. And at the World War II Tank Memorial, the apparition of a soldier working on the tank has been witnessed multiple times.
Do you have people who dress up in period clothing at all?
We do. 2 to 3 times a year, we have different living histories in here. We have from the American Revolution all the way up through World War II, and most recently, we even had a privateer and pirate invasion. And we get a lot more reports every time we have a program here at the Stone Fort or at the museum.
Is the increase in activity during the living history events and the possible harm it could bring to the visitors that has Robert most concerned.
So now, do you have any theories of who might be still residing here? No idea.
Nope, that's why we figured to call you guys in.
All right, great. Well, then we're going to go talk to our crew and start figuring out how to set up. It's such a lovely day outside to do so. All right, man, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's rock it. So we just finished talking with Robert about a lot of the activity going on here at Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman.
Good job.
Everything from the sounds of books falling, objects moving, setting off motion sensors. And right in this area, they had a girl chasing a shadow who fell and broke her leg. We're up against the elements tonight. And of course, we've got 3 locations, the Battery Milliken, the Fort Inn, and the museum. And they're rather far apart from one another.
Dustin and I are heading over to the Milliken.
Copy. Thank you.
So we've got our work cut out for us. But I love these old forts because they just hold so much energy from the past that you're able to get a lot of great activity.
Dustin and I have set up this GoPro here in the Milliken. There's been reports of shadow figures moving down the corridor, so hopefully once everything goes dark, we'll be able to see any kind of movement down here whatsoever.
They have a myriad of things happening, and Robert wants to know who's here, why are they here? Also, we have some great information to use for this investigation. Deaths that have occurred on the property, items that energy could be attached to, like a tank. So we're going to do a thorough investigation, and hopefully we'll come out with some evidence, or at least a lot of info for Robert.
So, placing this camera up here on the 2nd floor of the fort, there was a claim of a woman that followed a shadow figure and actually fell off the edge over here and broke her leg. This camera will cover all of that area and hopefully catch that shadow figure tonight.
Now, I just want to make sure we clear that wall.
I've got quite a ways I can go, so just tell me when to stop.
A little bit right. Perfect. I like it right there. Guys, that's all cameras.
Tango.
All right, hey, guys.
5 cameras?
Yeah, 5 DVR cameras.
All on the fort.
So, camera 1, this is the 2nd floor area. They say they see a shadow everywhere up there. Camera 2, that's on the 1st level. This is getting the entrance.
Smart for using a thermal.
Right, in case we see any animals. Camera 3, this is side-by-side, full spectrum.
Okay.
Camera 4, this is the 2nd floor corridor down the other end. And camera 5, this is where that girl broke her leg, where she was following a shadow.
Right,
so
she fell down.
We have a closer shot of that. One GoPro's down by the Battery Milliken, where they see the sparkly apparition. The other GoPro's in the museum, where they see shadows and also the sounds of the book falling.
Good job, man. Let's get whatever lights are still on off and start investigating.
Yeah,
All right,
we can
sounds
start
good.
soon.
Oh, let's do it.
So right now, Sam and I, we're in Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman. And in this general area, there's just a lot of visuals, a lot of shadow people. They're kind of like peeking out. So we're just gonna cover as much as possible in this area and hope for the best. As far as actual deaths go, I know there's only a couple like accidents. Because this fort never actually saw any battle.
No.
Right. And then there were soldiers who died when this was used as a convalescent area during World War I.
Is that a bed?
Oh, yeah. Huh. Hello? Anybody here? People say they see you and they hear you. Were you a worker here? Were you a pirate or a privateer? We came here because we want to know who you are. People keep seeing things, but they don't understand why.
Oh.
That's a big puddle, so stay to the left here if you can. All right, this is Dustin and KJ. We're just now entering the Battery Milliken.
Dude, this is awesome. Talk about creepy. One of the claims here is explosions, right?
Yeah, the sounds of bombing.
Hello? Are any of the soldiers from the fort here? Is the fort under attack? If you're in one of those doorways, could you step out? Oh, nice and quiet.
You get lost in here, huh? Are you okay with continuing?
Yeah, I like it. Oh, it's like being in a crazy fun house.
More of the same. Just a long, creepy corridor.
Hello? Anybody down here? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit down here. I'm just glad I only had 6 donuts today, not 12.
Jay and Steve, the fort.
Hello? If you can let us know where you are, we might be able to show you the way out of here.
You don't have to leave. Maybe you can help us. We're trying to find our way out.
I like that. Do you know where the exit is?
Sound like footsteps behind us. Maybe you can help us.
Do you know where the exit is?
That sound like footsteps behind us.
Yeah, I heard that.
There's just movement again.
Yeah. Down that way now. This loud noise.
It's not the sound of like an animal moving.
That sounded like a...
There was again.
That resonated through the stone. I think it's coming from above us.
Yep.
Water dripping would not...
Sound like something swooshing through water.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes again. Right now we're hearing voices, footsteps, all different kinds of movement. And downstairs we heard what sounded like somebody walking above us. Only to find that above us is an actual staircase leading upstairs.
You know, it's funny how when we stop moving, the sounds stop. It seems to happen more when people are engaging and kind of like it's fueling it. Right.
Why did it just illuminate over there?
Where? I didn't see it.
Come on, do it again.
So Sam and I were in the museum, and there's a lot of claims of weird, strange feelings. So we're gonna check it out right now. Yeah, so they've seen a shadow in here as well, and the sound of a book dropping.
I mean, there are lots of windows, though.
Yeah.
And lots of people-like shapes.
Yeah, so we get light sources from outside, catch the shadow of a silhouette.
But the book sounds odd.
Yeah.
So they heard it, they came in, nothing was on the ground.
Right. It was like this. It was just... just loud.
It's pretty loud. What does the door sound like? I feel like it reverberates, you would know.
Yeah. Can you please tell us your name? Who you are?
I'm just gonna see what this sounds like.
Sure. It's pretty loud. It's pretty loud. So open it enough to where maybe it'll like kind of stay. Okay. Yeah, good. And let's just walk away.
Did you see this bike?
Wow, that's crazy. Ooh.
That's scary.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, wouldn't he know if it was open?
Not necessarily.
All right, let's look around and see if there's anything else that sounds similar before we go.
Is there anybody here that can hear our voice? People say sometimes it sounds like a bomb is going off in this place. Shh.
Right now, Dustin and I are deep inside the Milken battery. We're listening for noises, voices, anything that sounds related to military operations.
Are we expecting a visit from the British? What was that?
I don't know.
I heard something. I think we touched on a nerve there.
Maybe. This was built when? Was it built for World War II?
This particular building?
Yeah.
Shh, shh. We were able to hear you. Could you do that again?
Dude, it sounds like something's moving around out there.
I know, it's weird.
Like again. That came completely from the other side of the battery.
This is Sam and Sherry inside the museum.
So in this area, people have an uneasy feeling.
Yeah, they feel like they're being watched. But you know what's different about this area? Look at how many pictures of faces surround us right now. And how many people-like shapes, you know, like the jackets, and then there's this one that's up above. I just find it quite the coincidence that that's the feeling in this spot.
Well, and right there, too.
Yeah.
This is Steve and Dave. We're heading into the Battery Mulligan.
All right. What do they say happens down here?
I see a guy who sparkles.
I wonder if we...
What?
You heard that?
Yep.
There's something heavy down there.
Yeah, something big. Now, my only thought...
Yeah?
There's so many different objects on the ground. So is it possible that every now and then a heavy drop hits some hollow, like...
Something,
But that really sounded like something was moving away.
Sounded footstep-ish.
It did, yeah.
Should we press forward?
Yes. If you're in here, tell us now.
You still think the house on raindrop?
No. If you're in here, tell us now.
You still think the house on raindrop?
No.
That was not raindrop. Let's go. Do you think we're dealing with something ghostly?
Let's see if it's intelligent. We were hearing sounds in here before. We can't tell where it's coming from. Are you making those sounds?
Oh, that was loud.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Tang and I, while investigating in this ammunition battery, we heard some interesting sounds, things that sounded just like footsteps, something that sounded like movement. But the problem is, it's really hard to tell what it is making these sounds.
If you can hear us, make a loud sound right now.
To the rooftop, baby.
All the way up. All right, this is Dustin and KJ. We are about to enter the lighthouse.
So there's no claims in here, right, Cage?
Nah, I just thought we should check it out.
Low ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
Not much up here, huh? It's a car battery.
And there's a new box over here. Anyway, this is it.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So are there any spirits of the fort here with us tonight?
We would love to be able to see you with our own eyes.
We're really interested in who you are, why you choose to visit here, to linger here.
You know, it's going to be time for Dustin and I to move on to another area. If you're down below us, you could maybe make a noise for us. Just once.
Okay, that was right here in this room with us.
Stephen J., the museum.
Okay. Motion sensors that trip without...
Hang on, you got fans on, you got planes on string.
Your flag's hanging.
Where are the motion sensors?
Let's see, I got one over here in the corner.
All right, so they got them in all four corners, huh?
There's one there, yeah.
Okay, and you got planes hanging right there. Is that plane moving on its
That
own
plane's
right now?
already moving right now, yeah. They're both moving.
All right, so watch, hang on. Is that motion sensor not picking up anything right now? Oh, what? It's on. It is on.
Okay, that one's on.
Julie, I think that's what it is, Steve.
I mean, there's a lot of things that could be blowing around and moving and...
Yeah, see, it's sensing all the way out here. But I mean, if both of these things are swinging at the same time... Because to that, it's gonna look like one. See?
Yeah, that one actually just tripped it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tripped it again.
Yep, that's what's doing it. And this fan's off. This vent right here. It's not pushing anything out.
Yeah, when they all kick on, absolutely. I mean, we got to put two and two together, you know? Disproved.
All right. This is where the shadow was seen. It was walking this way, and this person was following it. Coming through here, coming through. Came this way, and then it kind of, I guess the shadow person kind of like went back.
Yeah, so she took, I mean, this is...
Yeah, she fell and went down this way, and then broke her leg. She claims it didn't push her, she just fell.
Which is a bad spot, because as I went to step down, I mean, you see how it gets like...
Yeah, it slants down.
May have disoriented her a little bit. The height, panicking.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone here? Do you remember someone chasing after you? Do you remember her falling and breaking her leg?
We don't think you meant for her to get hurt.
Are you comfortable with walking down this area? Or we don't have to.
Oh, no, it's fine.
There's no railing.
No, it's fine.
Oh, God. Are you comfortable with walking down this area? Or...
No, it's fine.
Oh, God. That's why she fell. Pigeon.
Dave and I wanted to make sure we made our way up to the ledge where the shadow was seen when the woman fell and broke her leg. We learned that they were most definitely pigeons. They didn't want us in their space.
You know what's kind of nice, though, about all these little lights?
You can see if something walks in front of one. You know, we put a lot of glow sticks out here. They're to keep us from falling off the ledge. But if you want to throw one to let us know where you are, we can come to you.
We'd love it if you did that.
They're really light. You could just toss them right off.
How cool would that be? See that yellow one right there?
Yeah.
Just see if something roll a little bit. Oh, it would be so cool.
All right, Dustin.
All right, KJ.
Museum, Fort Taber, Fort Rodman. So this is the area down here where they saw some kind of misty apparition.
They didn't actually see it with their eyes, right? They just saw it on their
Saw it
security
in the DVR camera, yeah. Okay. I believe that it was seen from one of these chairs.
Yeah.
In camera 1.
Look right now. See it? Something's moving by it right now.
Yeah.
See that moving by it?
Let me know if it keeps happening.
All right. I'm watching it go back and forth.
Still doing it?
Still doing it. You're right on top of it.
Okay, right here?
Yep. Your hand's right on where it is. And that looks like it's something that's on the camera. That is going to be on the camera lens.
I bet it's a spider web.
I bet that's exactly what it is. I mean, because you had your hand right where it is, and now it's going back up. So I bet if...
One could clean off the lens on their camera for them?
Yeah, this is all dusty. This is just cobwebs.
I don't see it anymore at all.
It's clear?
Yeah, it's completely gone.
Cool. Coming back to you. I mean, I think that's a reasonable explanation as to what they were seeing there. You know, it's just something that's actually hanging from the camera.
Yeah, well, I think we figured it out.
All right, let's continue on.
Okay. We found your ghost, and we excised it.
Steve and Dave heading for the tank.
So is this where the girl saw the 3 soldiers walking towards her?
No, that was across the field at the playground. Here, they've seen an apparition of a soldier working on this tank.
If there really is someone here, let us know somehow right now. You should be recognized for your service.
Hey, look at this.
What? Oh, wow. Was that a 7 something?
Yeah.
Go around the whole tank and see if this is the only spot.
Tango?
Yeah.
Same spot on this side. So it's got to be something...
In here, but why?
Oh, wait, look. There could be something in there, because that goes all the way down to the ground. The EMF, it's got to be just something thermal or something with the metal, like you said.
The fact that you found it in the same exact spot on the other side, there's something mechanical.
Exactly.
Right.
People come here, there's reenactments all the time. People dressed in camouflage are always in that store, in the museum. How do they know somebody wasn't just over here looking at the tracks, checking out things? And I don't think we're going to find anything paranormal over here.
Right.
All right, let's head back to Center Command.
All right, sounds good.
Dustin, KJ, why don't you guys take the old fort?
Copy.
All right, this is Dustin and KJ. We have just entered the 2nd floor of Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman.
Just careful, it is very slippery. I love our glow sticks. It's like a little weird paranormal rave. Oh, what's in here? Hey, I'm Dustin. This is my buddy KJ. We're just trying to see if there's anybody here that can speak with us tonight.
We've heard reports of shadow movement. Did you die here?
Are you one of the privateers? Are you one of the pirates? Robert seems to think that since they've had the recent reenactments, it's stirred up activity here. Is that familiarity that brings you forward?
He wants to make sure that the visitors here to the fort are safe. Is everyone safe?
Careful what you step on. It's right where Sherry and I are entering the Battery Milliken. And I mean, quite a few claims down here. They see that a man crouched down and walking around. So we'll see if there's something paranormal that wants to talk to us. Hello? Is there anybody here with us? Somebody saw you hiding in the corner. Can you tell us why? Let's go back out to the hallway. All right, so other claims. We have an apparition seen walking down the hall. We have that sparkly apparition. Oh, did you hear that? Is there somebody down there? We have that sparkly apparition.
Ooh. Did you hear that?
Is somebody down there? Is somebody down here? You just made that noise. Can you make it again for us, please? Can you make some more noises where you are? Does it just end?
Okay, so it's opened again. That's closed.
So while Sharon and I were walking down the hallway, we did hear a few bangs that sounded a little different, a little louder, a little more direct, maybe, in a sense. So we asked who's here, why are you here, what is your connection? But none of it really led to any immediate responses. All right, let's go warm up and find everybody else.
Okay.
Man, it's quiet as quiet can be.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Well, the only other thing I can think of is Robert said that everything got stirred up when they started doing the pirate recreation stuff, right?
Right.
I came ready. Thank you. Yar, I be Captain D. Perry, the paranormal pirate. And with me, me first mate, Mr. K.J. McCormick, the scurvy dog, named as such because, well, he's got scurvy. That'll work. Now we're pirates.
Okay.
Who else is here? You need to speak louder. Speak into this device, into my first mate's hands.
First 10 men that step forward and give us their names get their own ship.
And a bottle of rum. They like rum. Throw that in.
And a bottle of rum.
Yar. My only concern about this is that dead men tell no tales. So our chances of getting EVPs, if they're really pirates, are slim. I thought maybe if I had the eye patch, I could fool them.
You would have fooled me.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you look good.
Thanks.
Hey guys, it's late. Let's get the lights on. It's time to wrap. Well, we just wrapped the investigation here at Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman, and I have to say it's been a great investigation. We've had some incredible experiences in the fort. I think we're able to come up with some explanations for some of the activity going on in the museum, and all in all, it's definitely been a productive night.
We had some awesome experiences. At one point, Tango and I were hearing different things in the Battery Milliken. Large thumping sounds, movement, footsteps, as if somebody's moving or running, and that was interesting. We didn't expect to hear all that, and I can't wait to see what we find in the evidence, and I'm pretty sure we'll have some answers for Robert.
All right, guys, Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman. Our client, Bob, wants to make sure everyone's safe. So he brought us in to check everything out, and I didn't really feel threatened by anything, except for when I was in the Milliken. Every now and then, you go to a place that just generally creeps you out, and Battery Milliken was definitely one of those places for me. As far as the investigation went, how'd everything go?
I mean, there was debunks. Dustin and I went in the museum, and we kept seeing some kind of white figure moving in front of one of the cameras.
Right.
We went up and we started checking out that area. There was just a whole bunch of dust and cobwebs that were occasionally moving in front of that camera, real close to the lens. It sort of creates that illusion of an apparition. You know, so
That's crazy.
we cleaned that off for him and everything, and got it all back to normal, and didn't see it happen the rest of the evening. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right, so as far as evidence goes, KJ, you and Dustin, you guys were in the Milliken area, and you guys hear what sounds like a no.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna play that for you right now.
Sweet.
All right?
Are we expecting a visit from the British?
You definitely hear it.
It sounded more like a gasp at the moment, you know?
That's cool.
All right, guys, so here's a piece from Dustin and I's handheld GoPro. We were in the Battery Milliken. We had gone into the back, into these really narrow tunnels. We heard something at the moment. I want you guys to take a listen.
Sure.
This was built when? Was it built for World War II?
This particular building?
Yeah.
Shh. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, big time.
It's weird. It's got that really eerie...
It does. Yeah. It keeps going for a while. It's definitely a good catch. It's cool that you guys heard it, and then, like you said, it translated on the audio. That doesn't always happen, you know, so that's great. I'm glad. We'll definitely show that to Jay and Steve. All right, and this is Steve and I. In the Battery Milliken, they're all kind of close together. It was like a cluster of sounds that we were hearing. It definitely sounded deliberate a few times.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I'll play it. That was one. You know,
Yes.
You know, and that was loud, like it echoed. It sounded like a door almost creaking open. It was really weird. Another sound that didn't make sense in there, you know. Water's not doing that.
No.
Right.
No.
Sam and I were actually down there too, and we heard a lot of those sounds. The same thing that everybody else has been hearing, so.
That's the same exact sound.
Right?
T.A.P.S was called to Fort Tabor, Fort Rodman, New Bedford, Massachusetts, to see if anything paranormal was occurring on the property. Recent living history events seem to have stirred up activity, causing concern for those who work and visit there. We've gone through our evidence, and have found some intriguing findings to share with our client, Robert Bromley.
You know what we did? We came in, you told us about a lot of the claims, and you opened up the doors and gave us full access to all these locations.
We put equipment everywhere, and luckily, I think it paid off for us. We've caught a few things that are quite interesting.
Anything inside the museum?
I think we were able to debunk some of the things where the motion sensors are, and you've got some of the planes hanging. When the AC unit kicks on, it moves the planes and it sets off the motion sensors. So we were able to recreate that. Now, I'm not saying that that's 100% what's causing it, but we were able to make the motion sensors actually pick up on them moving. While Steve and I were investigating in this area, we were walking through and you could hear what sounded like conversations happening. We were standing up there on the second floor just talking, and over here in the area where that girl fell, it illuminated. Now, the camera really didn't pick it up because it was too far away, but illuminated and then dimmed right back down. There was no explanation for it, but that was another great experience we were able to have in the fort that night.
This piece here, Dustin and KJ, they're investigating in the Milliken. You can hear it in the audio quite clear, a deep breath or a gasp. I'll give you some headphones for this one.
Are we expecting a visit from the British?
You able to make it out?
A little bit, you know, breathing sound.
Yep. Right, it's exactly what it is, yep. The interesting thing about that is it wasn't either of them, and so they're not quite sure what could have created that sound.
Well, this next piece we'll play for you. Two of our investigators, Dustin and KJ, were in the Milliken. And while they were in there, there's a voice that you can hear. It's right under Dustin. Here, we'll play it, take a listen to it.
This was built when? Was it built for World War II?
This particular building?
Yeah.
Almost like a hello.
Just faintly could hear it, just underneath, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goes very similar to what people have told us. They walk in and they can hear that undercurrent voice, but they can't discern where it's coming from.
This next piece here, Dustin and KJ, we're investigating in the lighthouse area. All of a sudden, you hear a voice. We're gonna play it for you and see if it's anything maybe that you recognize.
There's a really loud bang a few seconds before it as well.
Okay, that was right here in this room with us.
Yeah.
Were you able to hear that?
Yeah.
It sounds very digital.
But the time of the night that occurred, there is nothing open down here.
It just sounds more like a broadcast or something coming across.
Everything was closed and tight and buttoned up around here. We've heard people say in here they hear the conversations. Many times when we've had events inside here, you'll hear someone say hello.
I think we heard that a few different times. It sounded very similar to the words hello. Well, this next piece we want to let you listen to, Steve and Dave were both investigating the Milliken. And while they're in there, you hear what sounds, well, it sounds like a girl's voice. Take a listen.
Yeah. Yeah, like a come here type
That's
of
exactly
thing.
it. That's exactly it, yep. And we thought it was saying come here as well. And it's a voice that was out of the norm, and there's no reason for it to be there.
Well, that continues to add to the mysteries that we keep having here with all these occurrences.
In terms of figuring out who's here and why they're here, we didn't recognize any patterns in the evidence that lent itself one way or the other. We did notice that when they brought up something to do with the British, we did get that one possible interaction with the gasp or the breath.
We did catch some neat things.
But nothing to fear. I didn't get any sort of evidence leading towards it being malicious or having any intent other than, you know, hey, I'm still here with you. Don't forget about me.
Anytime you guys are willing to swing on down again, give us a call.
All right, that's great.
And we'll set it up because the mystery continues.
Well, thank you very much for your time,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, come on, we'll get out of here.
What T.A.P.S has told us is that there's still a mystery out there. Hearing the evidence from T.A.P.S, I think the living historians that come in and do the programs will be a little bit more attentive to the sounds that they hear and give us further evidence down the line.
So I think that went great, really
man.
good.
I thought it was a great investigation. We disproved some things. He really loved those voices. He heard them.
Well, and just the fact that he was able to hear the whole come here.
Like, yeah, it's exactly what we heard.
And that's perfect. That's what you want. It's nice when we don't go and tell them what we hear, but they say exactly what we've heard.
Is that you, Jay?
I haven't moved anything. Steve, it just got really cold around my neck.
On this episode of Ghost Hunters.
The Varnum Armory.
They're talking about apparitions, voices, objects moving.
Yep. And a lot of the artifacts there have a violent past.
One of my favorite items in the collection is a pair of white gloves that are soaked in blood.
Wow. I mean, that's somebody's blood.
What's that?
I think we heard you.
We experienced very heavy, very deliberate footsteps across this floor. You'll hear it down below.
It just sounded like somebody else was right behind us.
As soon as I had come in, I could just feel a male presence.
Hello? Anybody on this floor?
I saw a man-sized, dark shape walk from right to left.
Is that you, Lieutenant Prescott?
Is it threatening? Is it something that we need to worry about?
What's that? Did somebody just do that?
So I'm excited about this, man. Varnum Memorial Armory, right in East Greenwich.
I know, right? I mean, this is where we cut our teeth. This is where we fell in love with the paranormal, and I'm excited to be here.
This place has such a history, and very few people know about it. The Varnum Memorial Armory dates back to the early 1900s and is loaded with historical artifacts. They literally have original letters from George Washington. They have weapons from the wars, and a lot of the artifacts there have a violent past. So you gotta wonder if the energy is trapped within them.
And every time we have that history on our side and the artifacts there for us to see and hold and work with, we get good results.
Yep. But they've had all different types of activity that have been going on there. And Patrick and Andrew are really concerned that the upcoming renovations are gonna spike activity and make the armory unsafe for visitors.
I'm gonna fill in the team. The activity is abundant. I mean, we're talking apparitions, voices, shadows, a lot of different things. And we're gonna have our work cut out for us tonight, but I think we have a good chance of getting some really good activity considering everything we have there to work with.
All right, man, we'll do our best. I'm excited. Obviously, we're there to investigate, but I'm excited to see all these crazy things.
Oh, yeah, big time. In fact, I was in that armory a couple different times when I was a kid. Once with my dad and a few times with my grandfather. But throughout the years, I've always wondered if it was haunted.
This is gonna be great, man. Yeah. I'm excited.
T.A.P.S case, Varnum Memorial Armory, East Greenwich, Rhode Island.
Thank you.
Hello, T.A.P.S.
Thanks for having us out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Well, I passed by the place 1,000 times, so I've just never been in it.
And I hear that all the time, and we want to change that. We want to make this more of a public place.
That's awesome. So what's some of the history here?
It's a medieval-style armory. It was built in 1913 by the Varnum Continentals, Inc., which I'm a trustee of. They built this really just to kind of have a clubhouse, to have a function hall. And the purpose of the Varnum Continentals is to preserve Rhode Island military history.
Okay. So now what's your position here?
I'm actually just one of the Varnum Continentals, an architect, and I've helped a bit with just advising on how to more or less take care of the building.
So renovations and so forth. Now, with all these artifacts, why aren't they on display?
It's just the nature of our organization. They've generally been a fairly closed group, and we have new leadership now that's perhaps more progressive, and we want to open ourselves up more to the public, and the way to do that is with the museum that we have downstairs.
Okay.
Now, in terms of the history, have there been documented deaths here that you know of?
I haven't heard of any accidents or violent death type things, but we definitely have reports that they did wakes for both World War I and World War II service people here.
I'm sure a lot of the stuff you actually have here has tragic history behind it as well.
That's right. Many of those artifacts have very violent past. One example of that is a leather Revolutionary War artillery helmet that was worn by a Rhode Islander. He was at the Battle of Long Island and was shot and killed.
Do you know his name, by any chance?
Sanaja Carpenter.
Okay.
Anything else?
There are also some nurses' uniforms from the Second World War, and we don't really know the history behind them, but they're very unique, so that would be something to look at.
And one of my favorite items in the collection is a pair of white gloves that are soaked in blood. And the story of what happened is one of the very first casualties in the Civil War was a Lieutenant Prescott at the Battle of Bull Run, and they were marching towards the Confederate lines. Lieutenant Prescott was hit, and the guy standing behind him was wearing these white gloves, and Prescott falls into his arms, and so the gloves are now covered with that blood.
Man.
Yeah.
I know there's been claims for a long time. So what type of things are happening?
I was in the commander's room, and as I'm standing there, I hear talking, but it was much higher pitch, like a young woman or a girl sort of giggling. So, look, but I couldn't distinctly make it out. So I get to the corridor, and then it sounds as if it's coming from the mess hall, the dining hall. And across the corridor, went to the door, turned the light on, and there's nothing there.
So it almost seemed like it kept on getting further and further as you'd move. Okay.
Right. And it's on the side of the building that is very closed. There's no public access. No one came up between the building, was like making fun or doing it. I just couldn't place it.
One of the most common things that we experience are very heavy, very deliberate footsteps across this floor. You'll hear it down below. There have been apparitions sighted here as well.
I was standing in the hallway looking in the doorway to the lounge, and I saw a man-sized dark shape walk from right to left across the room. I was surprised, and I quickly realized it wasn't one of the other people that was in the armory with us.
In the curator's office, people have heard voices, seen a dense black cloud, and felt an aggressive male presence.
Patrick had taken me to the curator's office. As soon as I had come in, crossing the threshold, I could just feel a male presence, and I could feel a hand in my palm lifting up. It was just intense.
In the drill hall, people report hearing sounds of slamming doors coming from the tower rooms and stairwell overhead.
It was about 11:30, and I was just mopping, and I heard like heavy thumping, like thudding upstairs in the stairwell. So I waited for a moment, and I heard it again. So I went up the stairwell, and when I got there, I heard it down in the drill hall where I was mopping. And that was it, but there was definitely some aggression behind it. You know, it felt angry.
So now, what are you mainly hoping that we're able to accomplish here, though?
I've been here for almost a year, and I've been experiencing activity off and on. However, in the last month, it's really, really picked up a lot. So what we'd like to get from T.A.P.S is have you guys actually verify that there is true activity here. And then I also hope that you're able to actually document the nature of the activity. Is it threatening? Is it something that we need to worry about at all?
Okay.
And I know you've expressed concerns, you know, with all the renovations and...
The events that occur, I can't isolate what they are. So I'd like to come to some understanding of them.
All right, well, I think from there, we're just going to go talk to the crew, start figuring out how to set up.
Awesome.
All right, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we just got done talking with Patrick and Andrew about the activity that's going on here at the Varnum Armory. Activity has really spiked in the last couple months, so I'm happy that we're here now because it just opens up the potential of us catching evidence.
Just the amount of artifacts that are in this building can lend to having some activity, and we don't see that all the time. There may be one artifact or two at a location, but there are hundreds here, and each one of them has seen some sort of trauma. I think the potential for us to have an experience tonight and the potential for us to get some answers for Andrew and Patrick is quite high.
So I'm placing this camera on the drill hall of the Varnum Armory. This room has a lot of claims of footsteps and loud banging noises, so we want to make sure that if we hear these things, that nobody's actually in here. So this camera will serve to verify that all night long.
KJ, let's tilt down slightly. Tilt down a little bit. All right, I like it. Lock it down.
10-4, locking it down.
Okay, T.A.P.S team, that's all cameras.
Hey, man.
Yo.
So we good?
All right.
Yeah, we're
What have
good.
we here? Look at that.
Camera 1, this is the first floor hallway. This is seeing a lot of shadows back here. Camera 2, this is the curator's office, where that woman said something touched her hand. Camera 3, this is the drill hall. This is where a lot of audio claims happen. Camera 4, this is the alleyway that they were saying they were kind of hearing sounds possibly coming from. On camera 5, this is the lounge. This is where they've seen an apparition in front of the fireplace right here.
So it seems like we're covering all the visuals.
Everything.
Awesome. Well, let's get the lights out.
Yeah,
Get
nice
set.
job.
All right, thank you.
Nice work, man.
This is Stephen Tango in the shooting range.
What happens down here?
I don't think there's any claims down here, but we should still check it out. See the bullet holes in the rafters and stuff?
It's cool. Someone must have really missed in that one.
Hello? Have you done something that you regret? Maybe in battle, something you feel sorry for? It seems quiet in here. Why don't we check out some of the other rooms? What was that?
High pitch. Yeah.
You heard it?
Yeah.
It was like a, oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a claim, right? They hear.
Yeah, Andrew heard a female voice. Maybe that was something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have to look into it.
This is Dustin and KJ here at the Varnum Armory hallway.
I just heard what sounded like whimpering right over there.
Down here? Did it sound male or female?
Female.
Because this is a room where they think they hear ladies' voices. One of the World War II nurses is here with us. KJ thought I heard it that time.
Right?
Yeah. Is there anybody in here with us?
Is that out there?
Sounded like it was down there in that corner. Is there a young lady here with us today?
If there is a young woman here, we're trying to understand your significance to this armory.
This is Jay and Steve in the drill hall.
Hello? We have some friends. They told us they hear you walking around. Is that you, Ben Carpenter? We saw your artillery helmet from the Revolutionary War. Even if we don't hear the footsteps, but we can hear the sound that is misinterpreted as footsteps, to help us disprove it,
Up here where the floors are solid, they're tight still. You get down there, it's more creaky and everything. They're hearing footsteps makes you think it might be a residual because footsteps on that thing now are just all like all over the
I see what you're
place.
saying. It'd be very muddy.
Like, watch, I'll walk on it while you stand up here.
My friend Jason is coming. He's gonna walk around down there.
Yeah, see, it's not like a footstep sound, though.
Yeah, it really just sounds like one long creak.
So if they're hearing footsteps, it makes me just really wonder if it's more residual. You know what, let's head down to the collection. We'll be able to hear if any footsteps happen.
We'll be investigating both spots.
Yep.
Jay?
Well, let's head down to the collection.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Jay?
Yeah.
Where are you?
You here?
Walk around for me.
What's up?
Well, as soon as I came through this door, I thought I heard someone walking up these stairs here. And I thought maybe you came in this door and was coming to meet me.
Nope. I never came through there.
And then when I had you walk around, it was nowhere near as loud. Do it again.
Ready? I'll even walk towards you. So, you would have known if it was me.
No, it sounded like it was coming from this area right here. That was really weird.
This is Sam and Sherry entering the curator's room.
So we were told that there's women that were in here and they were touched. Was there a reason why you touched them? Were you trying to tell them something? Were you trying to hurt them?
We know that there's some nurse's clothing here. Were you looking for a nurse?
Dustin and KJ and Patrick is with us, and we're in the drill hall.
Yep.
What have you noticed happened here before?
Footsteps across the wood floor. And you typically will hear those actually below. And not just, you know, I'm not fooled by creaking floorboards. It's, you literally can, you know, follow them across the ceiling all the way across.
Cool.
When you're down below.
Like boot heels on the wood floor?
Yeah, it's very heavy, it's very deliberate.
Yeah.
We've been in here when we've heard the door up in the tower actually open and close, open and close.
So to any spirits that are here with us tonight, are you a World War I or II veteran? Was your wig held here in the drill hall?
We strongly believe that Patrick's intentions are genuine and positive, and he cares about this facility.
Can you please let me know if you're happy with what we're doing with the place? Do you agree with what we're doing with the collection?
This is Sam and Sherry entering the attic space at the armory.
The claim is that they were in the drill room, which is one floor below.
Okay.
They heard doors slam. Now, the only thing they could think was, it's these lockers, it's the door that leads into this floor, or it's the door that leads into the tower where the roof is. The first thing I notice about them is that they're slanted. I mean, they're all kind of, but for that reason, you would think they'd stay shut. I mean, how much movement?
They won't stay open, right? They just automatically shut anyways, yeah.
Go stomp on the stairs. I mean, I know that we're not as heavy as the men stomping through here, but... Well, that did nothing. Jump around.
Do I need to
jump as hard as you... No.
All right, I'm gonna shut the door.
Nothing. And as far as the lockers go, nothing is making them even move. But we could go check out the other doors and see what they sound like.
Yeah, sure.
Jay and Steve on the lounge area. Shh, shh, shh. Did it sound like talking over here? Is there somebody on this floor with us?
Hello? Are there any soldiers here whose personal items are in the armory? Did it sound like multiple voices?
Honestly, no, it just sounded like a deep male voice. Kitchen.
Locked.
Steve.
Yo.
Just walk this path again, because it just sounded like somebody else was right behind us.
And I took a left here.
No.
Nothing?
Didn't do it again. No, it sounded like footsteps walking with us.
EMF is a bit high in this hallway.
Yeah.
0.5, 0.8, 0.2, 0.8.
Steve, is it cold? Is it high You're my left elbow right now. Feel the air around there.
It's cold. Cold air.
It's colder still right around my elbow. Is that EMF high there?
Oh, right. It jumps a little.
Look at the hair on my arms. It's all standing up. Look at the hair on my arms. Huh.
Yeah,
it's all standing up.
They're charged.
Yep.
They're statically charged.
They're all standing up.
Whoa. I got a 1.9 for a second. Why would it just come and go like that?
I don't know, that's weird. Steve and I were walking down the hallway, and while we were standing there talking about it, all of a sudden, all the hair on my left arm started standing up, and it was definitely colder. I mean, these objects you'd think would hold some sort of energy.
Can you show us where your weapon is?
See, that's one of the guys whose funeral was actually held here at the armory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That voice. Yeah, where's that? It was weird. That was definitely a voice.
I heard it, yeah. Can you tell us why you're in here? I wonder what it was reacting to. Could be something completely removed from that.
This is Dustin and KJ on the first floor of the Varnum Armory.
Now, this is the area where they've seen a dark mass move in front of the fireplace.
Right. They also have claims in here of hearing footsteps and loud noises just above us.
Mm-hmm.
So people say they've seen a figure walking across this area here. Could you do that for me, please?
We're just looking for a name so we can put a face to a name.
Well, we do have a great respect for those men and women who have defended our country. So if there are anybody here that's a former military member, we would love to be able to hear your name and document that, pass that along to other people. Not that I want to appear lazy, KJ, but I feel like if we're in the sitting room,
right,
might as well sit.
We can do that.
If there's anybody here with us tonight, which battle were you involved in? Which war?
Sam to KJ and Dustin.
Yes.
Just for reference, we're in the drill room, so let us know if we get too loud.
Okay, you practicing your footwork?
Want to do some tap dancing?
And no answer.
And
that's what you got.
Just to clarify, will you be practicing your footwork?
Oh, he didn't even hear us. Oh. That's good.
We were tap dancing for a second. We thought you would hear it.
No, actually, it's been pretty quiet down here, so I think we have enough of a buffer zone so there's no contamination.
All right, we're going to actually slam the front door.
10-4.
Okay, I'm gonna shut this. Did you hear that one?
Yeah, but I still wouldn't think it'd be upstairs.
Unless they just were startled and couldn't correctly remember where it sounded like it was coming from.
Right.
Tango for T.A.P.S team. I'm gonna do a quick little sound test outside in that little alleyway. Just let me know if you hear anything, what you hear, what it sounds like, okay?
Got it.
10-4, Jersey. Thanks for letting us know, brother.
You got it.
So right now, Sherry and I are gonna spend some time in the drill room. I mean, we've been looking into the claim of the door shaking. They thought it was coming from upstairs, either those lockers that are in the tower or the doors leading up to the roof. But we can't find any doors that really make it as loud as the claim is. But Dave right now is also gonna head over to the alleyway, and he's gonna make some noise and see if it comes in here.
All right, guys, I'm gonna do a quick little shout. Let me know. Whoa. Yo, yo. Did you guys hear anything?
Sherry and I are in the drill room. We didn't hear anything at all.
Negative.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit further into the alleyway. Let me know. Yo, can you hear me?
He must look like a crazy man out there just yelling.
Yo, hello. Testing. Testing, testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Now, does it sound like I'm outside, or does it sound like I'm inside?
If you're not thinking about it, it actually sounds like you're upstairs.
That's interesting. How about you guys, Dustin, KJ, can you hear anything?
Yeah, we didn't hear you yell, bro. Not at all.
Very nice. All right, great. Great job, guys. Thanks. It's pretty interesting how sound travels from outside. A lot of the sounds that they're hearing could be some trickery here, so I'm glad that we did this test.
So what about if, like, a car door slams?
Exactly. I mean, there's lots of buildings with lots of parking garages. I don't know.
Jason and Steve heading to the lounge.
I wonder if we should find a spot to kind of be quiet for a little bit, because the floor is so loud. Oh, it's as if you knew these chairs were here.
I paid attention when we walked by them.
We think we heard somebody talking in here, so we decided to sit down and try to have a conversation with you.
Could have sworn there was just a light over here.
A light?
Yeah. You hear that?
Yep.
That's like somebody's walking up and down that hallway.
Are you coming in here to talk to us? Is that you, Jay? I heard movement.
I haven't moved anything. I'm still in the same position.
Sounded like somebody moving.
Steve, it just got really cold around my neck. Steve, it just got really cold around my neck.
Your neck?
Yeah.
It's not coming from the window behind you?
No. Right now it's on the right-hand side of my neck. It just went from the left to the right. Yeah, it's still cold. It's getting colder. Is there any EMF?
Yeah.
What is it?
Jay, we got a 1.6 there.
I'm telling you, and it started on the left side of my neck.
I go behind you, it dissipates. There's a 0.7 back there, 0.6.
Almost like a friggin' hand or an arm. Steve and I decided we were going to sit down in the lounge area. Steve heard what sounded like me moving, even though I hadn't moved. But right after that, there was this cold spot that started in the back of my neck on my left side. It was just really strange. Is that voices?
Sam and Sherry entering the commander's office. They've gone in so many rooms lately that have mannequins, and they scare me every time.
What was that? I thought I heard it over here. Was there somebody in here with us? We think we heard you.
Sounded like a little girl laugh.
Is there a little girl in here? If so, can you make a noise? Maybe like a knocking sound?
We don't want to scare you or intimidate you in any way. We just want to know why you're here.
Is there anything in this room that's yours?
I'm just not seeing the connection between a child and the armory. I think that was the last thing I was expecting to hear tonight.
Right.
Was the little girl laughing.
So a couple of people have heard a young girl's voice here in the curator's room. Is there a young lady in here with us? My name's Dustin. This is my buddy KJ. Just stay in the doorway here. Keep your eye in that room. And just tell me if you see any, like, shadow movement or anything like that. Are you here with us now? I'm sure a lot of people would like to know what your name is and know who you are. Are you a nurse of some kind in one of these battles? Are you hiding somewhere behind some of the boxes?
So right now, Steve and I are in the lounge, and the claim in here is that they've seen an apparition right in front of this fireplace.
This is where Jay felt that cold around him.
And the bloody gloves, are they in here?
They're in the next room over. Right there. Wow. I mean, that's somebody's blood. Lieutenant Prescott.
I'm gonna try asking for Prescott in the lounge, see if we can get something. Are you still here with us? Are you still here? Are you Lieutenant Prescott? We just want to know who you are.
Is one of these weapons yours?
If you're proud, make a noise.
That's pretty out of command.
Yeah. Is that you, Lieutenant Prescott? Can you please do that again?
This is Sam and Sherry entering the shooting range along with Patrick.
So this place was active until about 2010, back when we had the epic floods, and this whole area got flooded out, and it's been closed down ever since.
Wow. Does it just come to an end down there? Like, is that
Basically a slope, and then it goes into a solid concrete wall,
All right.
so the bullets could be fired right into it.
Is there anybody here with us? They're going to be renovating the building. Is there anything that you would like Pat to do?
Can you please tell us your name?
Is there anything that you want to say to Pat?
Please let me know what you think of what I'm doing.
Are you the one slamming doors upstairs? What's that? Did somebody just do that? Are you the one slamming doors upstairs? What's that? Did somebody just do that?
Yeah, I heard a laugh. I heard that too.
We think we just heard your voice. Can you do that again for us, please?
To me, it didn't sound like a chuckle. It sounded like a deep breath, like an exhale. Something that Sherry, Patrick, and I witnessed in the range was this exhale. Whatever it was, it definitely had 3 different tones to it. You know, maybe 3 syllables, 3 words. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody was answering one of Pat's questions. I felt like it was back where these coats are and stuff. Go stand where we were. See what you hear.
She's gonna try to recreate.
Yeah. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna wiggle the jackets. Let me know if you hear it.
Not for me.
No. Let me see. That's loud.
But the loudness of that sounds about right in terms of distance.
Let me shift one of these hats a little bit. Anything? No? No. Everything else in there is heavy. I mean, it's metal, it's...
Yeah. It's very odd.
Oh, it's you two.
How you doing?
Good, good, good.
Did you have nice misadventures?
We did. We heard a few things.
I heard it as like a male laugh or a chuckle. We all heard it.
Where were you?
In the range.
It was behind us. The mechanical room's off, too. The furnace is off.
Yeah.
Dehumidifier's off, so it's not that.
It was there.
That was interesting.
I mean, it was there.
Cool.
We'll get the production tape for that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
It's so cool to get to investigate this place after, like, living in Rhode Island for so many years. It's really cool.
You know, war back then is so weird and barbaric, because you just shoot, boom, 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 and the whole first row falls. Yeah. Now, whoever gets their things stuffed and done first is who wins. Let's do it. Let's see who would reload fast. I'm gonna use this one. Oh! They're heavy, right?
Holy crap. I'm behind you. So I'm doing this.
Boom.
Okay, now you bend, like you kneel, and I go over you. While Steve and I were in the lounge, we did a little reenactment. We were allowed, we asked, it was fine, we were very careful. It wasn't just us having fun. There's a good chance that by doing that, something can be sparked up. Damn you! Damn you! You bastard!
Now what you gonna do?
Hey guys, it's late. Let's get these lights on. It's time to wrap.
So we just wrapped up the investigation here at Varnum Armory and had some great activity, whether it be the sound of movement, voices, cold spots, high EMFs going off. Each team was able to experience some sort of activity that has been claimed here. So it helps back up a lot of the claims that Patrick and Andrew had.
There's a lot to go through. We have tons of audio, tons of video, all of these different things that we now have to analyze. I just hope that Andrew and Patrick really like what we've done here, and I hope we get some really good answers for them.
All right, guys, so Varnum Armory. I know Patrick being one of the trustees and Andrew being the architect, they're concerned with a few things. Patrick wants to really make the place more public. He wants to make sure everything's kind of safe. And Andrew, since he's renovating the place, he's concerned that by changing things, is it gonna upset whatever's there or whoever was there?
Right.
As far as experiences go, Steve and I had one thing in the basement area, the shooting range, when we were kind of walking out. It was very low. We heard kind of like almost like a female voice, but it was definitely there and it caught us both off guard. But as far as the case, KJ, is one of yours?
This is Jay and Steve down in the lounge, and they hear a male voice.
They were just sound like talking over there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
And that's definitely a voice.
Yeah.
You hear a tone, it's a male voice.
Right.
All right, so I have a few clips. My first one, I'm sure you guys remember, Patrick went out with Sherry and I for a little bit, and he wanted to try to communicate with whatever was there. We went to the gun range with him, which is in the basement. At the very beginning of this clip, and I mean the first second or two, it sounded kind of like a laugh when we heard it, but it comes through as more of like a deep exhale, and we all heard it. It's right at the very beginning.
What's that?
So, I mean, it's there.
It's
nothing,
there.
they didn't give Patrick any further information. I mean, somebody was listening to him, and
sure.
he was a little shaken up. It was a good moment. Now, last but not least, Sherry and I, we came to the captain's quarters. And as we walked into the room, there's this weird laugh or a whimper. And it didn't come through as loud as it seemed to us there, but it's on here.
All right.
I've gone in so many rooms lately that have mannequins, and they scare me every time. What's that?
Huh? Oh my God.
T.A.P.S was called to the Varnum Memorial Armory in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, to investigate a spike in paranormal activity stirred by recent renovations. We've got some intriguing evidence to share with our clients, Andrew and Patrick.
It's good to see you again. How are you?
Jason. How's it going?
Well, we're very excited to see what you might have caught.
Honestly, I think you're going to enjoy some of the stuff we've got to show you. This first piece, Steve and I, we were walking through the hallway directly behind you. All of a sudden, it got very cold in one area. Just watch the video. It'll show you. It's really interesting.
Look at the hair on my arms. Huh.
Yeah,
It's all standing up.
They're charged.
Did you feel it just on the arm?
I did, because I walked into just this random cold spot, and it was weird because it just happened there.
This next clip is actually really interesting. We don't get phenomena like this very often.
Watch this video.
All right. This got really cold around my neck. Yeah, it's still cold. It's getting colder.
You see, I turned the camera on myself.
You want to come over with the EMF?
Yep. Jay, we got a 1.6 there.
Oh, look at that.
From there, it starts getting weaker and as if it's moving.
It's very odd to have such a localized cold spot. That window, it's closed, and then there's a storm window on the outside. There's zero air movement.
So this next piece, Steve is getting ready to come downstairs to meet me so we can head down to this floor. Well, you can hear what sounds like somebody moving on the stairs right in front of him.
Yeah.
Jay? 4 footsteps here.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you guys caught that.
I love that.
But that's exactly like we hear.
Yeah, it is. And it's several steps, which I think is awesome, because I think a lot of people assume that it's the floorboards creaking, it's building settling noises, and
I'm stopped.
that is not,
Dead
floorboard
stopped.
creaking.
And Tango and I, when we're investigating here in the lounge, we heard a sound, and it happened on command. Okay, here we go.
If you're proud, make a noise.
It's right there in the room.
Something shifting. It almost sounds like a rifle shifting.
It happens on command, and that makes it interesting enough to show you.
It's good stuff.
So now this piece, we're in the back office over there.
Yep.
We're actually reading that gentleman's name that you see in the picture right there. Take a listen to that.
Several.
Able to make out anything?
Like I was there, or I...
All right. To me, it sounded like I've been gone.
Yeah.
Certainly a phrase that makes sense.
Yes, yeah.
Fits exactly with the type of claims that we hear down here. And every time I hear the voices down here, I've never been able to tell you, what it said.
Does that voice sound familiar to what you've heard, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now this next piece is, I gotta be honest with you, one of the most interesting pieces. As my cameraman turns away and he's aiming in a different direction, I want to focus on the doorway. Look in the door, something's moving.
Yes. I see
And then boom, he turns back and it's gone. And it comes up the hallway and walks out, watch. In the doorway, here it comes. Yeah. It's coming right now, there it starts walking in.
Sure.
And there it is. And then when he turns back, watch. The light's so bright, it blows it out.
It comes into the frame.
It comes into the frame.
Like it's walking into the room with us. Watch, he turns away, so now it's the absence of his light. And look, now, boom, there it comes. There it is. So now, but when he turns back, boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
Now, we look to try to see if it could be IR shadowing. Problem is, there's nobody behind me. And if it was my cameraman, it would be picking up his arms moving, not what this appears to have his arms down near its side.
You're right.
You can see it kind of start to peek out, and then it comes in.
It's just an incredible piece. I don't even know what to say.
Sadly, we weren't able to pinpoint an exact person. It does seem that it is somebody connected to the building here.
Or at least something that's in the building.
Exactly.
But honestly, I'd love in the future to be able to come back, spend some more time here longer, and see what else we're able to capture.
This has been fantastic. It's great validation for what people have been saying here.
You guys need anything, give us a shout.
All right.
Thank you very much. Come on, we'll get out of here, guys.
Given all the evidence that T.A.P.S has presented us, I have no doubt that the Varnum Memorial Armory is, in fact, haunted. The public, when they come in to visit our place, they may have experiences, but I'm confident that they have nothing to worry about, nothing to fear.
The construction might stir something up, but I don't see anything that has anger. It's just more of a trying to communicate.
That went great.
Are you kidding me? They loved it.
Especially that shadow entity at the end.
Their eyes just brightened up when they saw that.
And that helps back it up a lot. They've had that experience before, and we were able to document that shadow entity.
Absolutely. They see it in front of the fireplace. It's almost like it looked in on us and was like, oh, what are these guys doing here?